Okay. Hopefully audio's good for you guys. Yo, yo. Let me try to get this all set up for you guys. Yo, Tristan, what up, dude? How's it going, man? Good seeing you, bro. How you doing, man? First one in. Look at that. First one's in, and it's my guy, my boy Tristan. Hell yeah. Welcome in, bro. Hope you're doing good. How's school going, man? I was gonna ask you. Pretty good, man. Can't complain. I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. Hey, sweet. I want to see how many more people will join in, and then I want to be able to begin. Mm. Begin on the deeper stuff. Now, this stream is going to be objective based, very objective based, considering we're trying to explore truth. Now, truth is I'm using truth as a generalized term in this case, but truth is always going to be objective, and it's never changes. Truth never changes. So sometimes truth is too scary, sometimes truth is too beautiful, sometimes truth pisses people off, you know? So I want to see what type of reactions we get tonight. I want to see what people have to say, what they think, what they believe. I want to dive deeper into the controversy of a lot of things, some big things. I told my teacher her husband looked like ET. Dang, bro. That's rough. Oh my God. Gotta eat. Dang. So he's from a different planet then. You got a different planet guy. Nice. Welcome in, guys. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know for the ones who just joined in, we're just getting started. So, we're going over the topic of truth in generalization. So, I'm trying to generalize truth in the sense that I want to cover as much as we can on truth. What does it mean, truth? What is true? What is false? All these things. I want to build controversies too. I want to I want to build discussions, debates. I want to create some type of fire. So, with that being said, why don't we get started? Since we got a good amount of people, welcome in everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about truth. Truth, truth, truth. Now, feel free to go ahead and type away if you guys have a belief system in the background. What your guys' belief system is, how long you've been in part of it. What do you guys think of truth? If you guys have a religious system, all these good things. So feel free to type away, feel free to ask anything. So feel free to ask, guys. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is a place, and this is not attacking. I'm not trying to attack. There's no point to attack. Attacking is the worst thing to do. What I want to do is explore. I want to be able to explore with you guys truth in all senses, not just a metaphysical or spiritual way, but truth in general. Natural edge, the end of the world. The end of the world. Is that your truth? Okay, we got Earth is flat, end of the world. Okay, this is good. This is good. Tristan, no, I don't. I hardly use any hair products, by the way. Earth is flat. It is flat. Okay. So if you say the Earth is flat, what what aspect or what proof do you have that it's flat? What type of science do you have to back up that claim that the Earth is flat? Because this was an ideal. The Bible describes a flat Earth with over 200 verses. Well, there's also verses in the Bible that says it was Earth was made in 7 days. Creation was made in 7 days. Does that mean literal? So we have to take interpretation as well. What does it mean interpretation, right? And you have to think of, because the ideology of the flat Earth, right? The whole thing is ancient. The whole idea of it is ancient. It's been around. That way of thinking has been around. But every single messenger that's come by has revealed some type of scientific or has revived some type of scientific truth as well. Later on down the years, we found out, of course, this is after the death of Jesus, but we found out through the influence of Christianity, there was a lot of sciences that was developed, not only arts, but sciences. And it brought and ushered an age of scientific discovery and art and music. And it created such a good positive impact on humanity. And when that happens, when the scientific discovery started coming about and they started realizing the earth is not flat. Yeah, some things are parabolic, other things are literal. Now, when it comes to prophecies, when it comes to certain prophecies, not just only in the Bible, but of course other books as well. But since we're on the discussion of the Bible, yes, it is. We have two different sets, you can say. But when we talk about the prophecies of a certain scripture or a certain book, we have to look at it as not literal. These things should not be taken literally, but what you said, parabolic or in parables, symbolism. These are all symbolism. If these prophecies were so easily to be understood, if they were so easily to be grasped, then you would see that a 5-year-old has the same intelligence as, and the same level of understanding as, let's say, a biblical scholar. God told us that, Jesus himself even said, you have eyes, but yet you cannot see. You have ears, but you cannot hear, right? Even though he was talking to the Pharisees and the Jews during that time, what up, bro? How's it going, man? Who's JO3? I like that. But yeah, as I was saying, the impact. Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Dang, I blame you, bro. I blame you. JO3. This is all your fault. I lost my train of thought. Dang. But yeah, no, no, no. As I was saying, the prophecies should be understood in parables. And Jesus even said, he says, I speak in parables. I speak in parables. And so if he speaks in parables, then I bet you a million, I bet you my whole life, I bet you my eternity that these prophecies, that these exact prophecies are should be understood, and they have to be understood on a spiritual understanding, not on a physical level or a carnal thought of interpretation. It's not possible. Otherwise, you're going to come across thousands of different controversies. Things might not agree with science because if religion and science do not agree with each other, then the religion is nothing but superstition. And then it becomes superstition. Now, on the other hand, if you switch to pure science, now you got nothing but materialism. Nothing but materialism. So science comes hand in hand with religion and back and forth and so forth, right? They both have to cooperate and work with each other. One cannot work with the other. Tristan said moon landing was fake, right? I believe so. I think the moon landing was fake. There was a big conflict going on during that time. It was a battle of propaganda is a battle of pride and ego. So man will go very far and will lie to the depths of his soul when it comes to ego and pride, especially on a national level. On a national level, yes. Joel, LOL, my bad. Leo Lee, how's it going, man? How's it going? Welcome back, man. Good seeing you. So yeah, when it comes to like the ideology of flat Earth, and mind you, this is not the first time that idea had sprung up, and a lot of people started believing it. After Christianity came about, uh, in about 400 to about 600 years later, after the death of Jesus, a lot of the actual sciences and stuff were manipulated for control, for fear and control. A lot of the time during that time, it was a lot of fear factor. It was fear control. You perform some type of like chemical mix. They didn't even know that was science. They thought that was witchery. So they would take somebody, burn them to the stake, and mind you, thousands of people will be watching. So if you practice stuff like that, all these other people are going to follow and be like, you know what, maybe it's not a good idea, I should do stuff like this. Maybe it's a good idea to not dive into science, even though they didn't realize that was science. But those were the same witches or scientists that were influenced by the Holy Spirit, that were influenced by religion. What caused the evil, what caused the darkness, what caused the drama was fanaticism and superstitious interpretation and literal interpretation. These are all wrong, absolutely wrong. You heard the new Zach Bryan album? No, I have not. So it's very important, guys. Very important. We have to understand these things by the basis of interpretation, how we're seeing these verses, how we're seeing truth in general. It cannot be biased. It cannot falter. It cannot uh contradict against science. It cannot contradict against religion, and it cannot contradict against yourself. It can't. Truth, it does not play that way. Truth does not play contradiction. It moves. Yes, truth is progressive. Truth moves. Truth is biological in that sense, but in essence, in its true nature of truth, it stays and remains the same, right? It's like you light a wick in a lantern, right? It's a beautiful lantern. Well, if you transferred that same wick or that same oil to another lantern that's different, well, is it a different light? No, it's the same exact light. It's the same exact truth. It's just in a different shell. It's in a different appearance, right? So we have to, and you see, these were the mistakes that the Pharisees made. These are the mistakes the Pharaohs made. This is the same mistake every single prophet, messenger has always gone through. They have always gone through this. It's always the problem of interpretation and superstition, the following of traditions, blindly following traditions, not just traditions themselves, but blindly following them and accepting them. Brooke is in. How's it going, man? Welcome in, guys. So, what I'm trying to bring to the table here, what I'm truly trying to say here in regards of truth, is I'm saying that the fountainhead of truth, the source of all knowledge, the promised one of every era of the past, every religion of the past, has arrived and has come. He has arrived. He is here. He has brought all the proofs behind it. And when I mean the promised one of all ages and religions, I mean the promised one of all ages and religions. You say Christianity is, we're talking about the return of the Messiah, the return of Christ. He has returned. He has returned not only fulfilling the prophecy as Christ being returned, but also him being returned not only as Christ, but as the Father himself, as the Father himself, who's come in the glory of the Father. Jesus Christ, yes, absolutely, Leo, absolutely, yes. And you see, this is, and a lot of times, a lot of times people will say, "No, you believe in a different Christ. There's no way Christ would have returned. There's no way." No, man, I'm not talking about a different Christ. This is not a different entity or a different spirit. No, this when I mean Christ has returned, I truly mean Christ has returned. Not with the same name. He brought his new name, as promised in Revelation 3:12. It says, "I'll come with a new name." And not only with a new name, but he will bless us with a new name as well, under his new kingdom. Everything's new, 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 right? I would say mine would be, I mean, obviously, Revelations is meat and bones, like, that's the main stuff for sure. Um, its complications are very heavy for sure. I love the complexity of the Revelations, but I would say in regards of like math, I enjoy the chapters of Matthew, Romans. Chapters of Roman as well is very good too. Even Old Testament, if we go to like Second Kings, that there's some very good verses in there as well. And there's a lot of standards in those verses that we can go by and we can follow by, and I can back up the interpretation aspect of it, right? How we read and study Revelations or any of the other prophecies, including the ones that were already fulfilled by Jesus during that time, right? A lot of these prophecies were fulfilled spiritually. Every single one of them have been fulfilled spiritually in some way or some aspect. There's some spirituality that was involved in it, not a physical return or nothing physical in that matter. If it was physical, let's say if I say that Jesus has returned not only as himself but also as the Father himself, right? Glorified in the Father. That was another verse, by the way. I wish I can remember that one, but I remember it faintly. It's a it's an interpretation thing, and we have to understand and recognize patterns. We have to understand and recognize patterns, right? So, in the statement that Baha'u'llah makes, which is the founder of the Baha'i faith, the one who proclaimed to be the promised one of all these religions and Christianity being the return of Christ and this and that, right? With that claim, there has to be proof beyond measure, especially when you claim not only to be just the return of one thing, no, but the return of everything, there has to be proof. Can't just be an empty, bullcrap claim. Job is fantastic for someone who believes that they can do whatever they want. They can just ask for forgiveness, and the sociology from the book is facilitating. Yeah, absolutely. And these are good stories to read because it helps us it helps us understand primal mistakes that we make. These are primal instincts that we do. This is what you call lower nature of man. Job was a perfect example of that. An absolute perfect example of that. He turned from the higher nature of man to the lower nature of man. Very easy to do, by the way. Very easy to do, and it's very easy to slip in. But yes, yes. But that's the thing. The deepest stuff is always the depressing stuff. The deepest stuff is always the complex stuff. The stuff that nobody wants to really read. That's where you find the glory. That's where you find the truth that we're talking about. Truth, right? And these are perfect examples to go by. Very good examples. Yeah, I've seen that painting too. Very deep in symbolism. Very deep in symbolism. And this was how the mind was back then, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. We were able to really truly understand things when things were put into parables or symbolism. Like Jesus pointed out, like your faith is like a mustard seed, right? These are These are symbolisms, right? These were ways for his people to understand what faith really is. So it became tangible for them. It's wisdom that he was teaching. This is all wisdom, you know? I read a little bit of the story behind it. Oh man, what was it? It was the devil was going to win. Or yeah, I remember the story a little bit. It was where the devil was going to win, but there was an expression on his face of anger or anticipation as if there was still a chance for him to lose. Or unless he was the other opponent, the other man. I wish I can have that painting actually. It's a very good story behind it. Yes. Yes. And you see, these are the symbolisms, right? If history is riddled in these symbolisms, imagine how much riddles and symbolism and parables are in prophecies. So if we're pastors or priests or people of higher knowledge claim that the return of Christ is a literal and physical return, as if to say Jesus will come from the sky, clouds will surround him, there will be angels who bring his kingdom, and every knee will bow, and every eye shall see, and this and that, right? These are things of parables. The same words and the same style of revelations was also written in Old Testament. That's why I like Second Kings, because it talks about the return of Elijah, or how Elijah, he went up in a whirlwind in the sky on a chariot fire, you know? And the Jews believe this literally. Literally, they believe that Elijah went up into the sky and that he was supposed to return the same way. This is their expectation. Next thing you know, here comes John the Baptist, this poor, I mean, like clothes tattered, skinny man, claiming to be um not John the Baptist, but the return of Elijah. And then the funny thing is, this proves it even more. This proves it even more. The Jews even asked, they're like, "Well, how are you Elijah? How are you John the Baptist, the return of Elijah? You're not wearing the same things, you're not talking the same way, there's nothing glorifying about you. You didn't even come down from the sky in a chariot of fire. So who are you?" And then John the Baptist says, they ask him, "Are you really truly the return of Elijah?" And he says, "No, I'm not." John the Baptist says, "No, I am not the Elijah." But then the Jews go and talk to Jesus, and they're like, "Hey, John the Baptist said he's not the return of Elijah. So who is he?" And he said, "Yes, he is actually the return of Elijah." So, and you see, this is the contradiction. And Jesus knew this. He knew there was going to be this type of contradiction. That's why he said what he said, because it's supposed to push that contradiction out. You're not supposed to think of it as a literal thing. That's why he said he is the return of Elisha. And then John the Baptist says he's not. So what is he? Who's telling the truth? Both of them are telling the truth. Both of them are saying the exact same truth. John the Baptist is not wrong for saying that he is not the Elijah physically. He is not the Elijah. That is absolutely true. And then when they ask Jesus, he says he is the return of Elijah, which is also true, because he means in the spirit of Elijah, in the spirit of Elijah. We need to be like Paul right now. We do need to lead, and we do need to follow the examples of these early apostles. They are the best examples. They are the best examples. Of course, obviously, the example of Christ is nothing's really going to top that. Like that's the pinnacle of example right there. And granted, we'll never be like Christ. We'll never be like him, ever. But to try for that perfection is the best thing you can possibly do. My favorite verse is Acts 21. Yeah. And it's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. I want you guys, yes, we're in different faiths for sure, but it doesn't mean truth is different. Truth is never different. Truth is never different. And you will find truth in your own book. If I if me, I am telling and if I am saying that the return of Christ or the promised one of all religions, all Abrahamic, all the religions that you see in the world, if he's the return of those religions and those eras, how great the proofs have to be. How big, like how on the scale of magnitude the proofs have to be, not in just one book, but several books. So truth, if I'm saying that this is truth, if I am saying that Baha'u'llah is the return of Christ and the return of all the religions of the past, then we have to dive deep into the books of God. Then we have to dive deep into the Bible, dive deep into the Old Testament, things like this. We have to. Good evening, bro. How's it going, man? By the way, the best argument for Jesus being the Lord Almighty is when the Jews asked him, who is he? Said, I am. And when Moses asked the burning bush, how do I tell my people who you are? The Lord, I said, I am. Exactly. Yeah, see? Exactly. Best arguments, man. Best arguments. Yeah. So, but, truth has to be seeked out. It has to be sought after with your own thoughts, with your own uh rationality. You have to have some rationality behind all these things. You have to. You can't dive into truth or try to seek truth with a cup completely filled to the rim of past teachings or what this pastor said to you or this priest and what your friends at church said to you and like then it becomes a mixed of interpretations of other people and it's not even your own train of thought anymore. It's not even what you truly see. Jesus says to watch. Yeah, Jesus says to watch. Oh my God, the amount of times that he said that for his second coming, he's referenced that more than 200 times in the New Testament. More than 200 times. Stay on guard, watch, be aware, these things, right? And here's another fallacy of that literal interpretation. This is another fallacy of it. Over 200 references in the New Testament of him saying, keep watch, stay alert, all these things. But yet he says, oh, I'm actually going to come down on clouds and every eye on this earth is going to see me. All knees shall bow before me. You see the contradiction in that? So if there's that contradiction, then surely it's not a contradiction of verses. It's a contradiction of interpretation. This has nothing to do with the verses. The verses are perfect. The verses are as it should be. Hello, Ghost Rider. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I've had a lot of atheists tell me that science doesn't prove God's existence. I've studied the science. If anything, it did prove it because the nature of our existence is too specific to be chance. Yeah, they believe that this is more, and this is not even the atheists of the modern era are not scientific. They're not people of science, of rationality, of actual logical thinking. They're not. They truly aren't. What they are is people who've been pushed away from religion because of fanaticism, superstition, and traditions they didn't want to follow blindly, which is very understandable. Like what pushes a man away from God is very understandable. If that is what religion is superstition, fanaticism, and the works of miracles, for example, right? I wouldn't want to be pushed into that stuff. Why would I wanna be pushed into that stuff? It feels toxic. I don't want that. So they get pushed away from it, and then they start seeing they start seeing religion and God as a enemy. And so they will do anything and everything to bend the rules of science. They will do anything and everything to bend logical reasoning and rationality so that it can fit into their subjective thoughts, their subjective scientific logic that you can call it, when it's really nothing. It's shallow, very shallow. We have some of the greatest quantum physics professors, man. People, the founder of quantum physics, he even said, he said the first sip of the glass of science is atheism. But he says the deeper you go into it, the deeper you finish that glass. Once you hit the bottom of that glass, he says you will see God. You will see God. Isaac Newton was a a hardcore Christian. He was a hardcore Christian. But look what he created. He was the founder of physics. Like he's the founder of what we know today. And even he said none of this is possible without some external force, something driving, something much greater than creation itself. There's a driving force behind it. Nothing is randomized, and you're correct about that, AT. Nothing is. Matter of fact, like what the founder of quantum physics said, he said, like the deeper you go into science, the more you're going to understand, like true science, the more you're going to understand that God is the reality of it all. And this is what I mean. Science and religion should go hand in hand. They need each other. One cannot go without the other. It's like a bird trying to fly with one wing. There is no way in hell that bird's going to fly straight or fly at all. There's no way. So, science and religion have to be intertwined. They have to be counterbalanced. They have to be in balance, in harmony with each other, so that we know what is superstitious and what is logical. It helps us filter through what is tangible, what is real, what is truth. Well, you're a cute youngster. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I've had a lot of, but the ideology and what caused atheism and what pushed people to atheism is absolutely rational. Like it's completely understandable. I understand it. I truly do. Nobody wants to be pushed into that stuff. Nobody. And that's not what God intended religion to even be. It was not to be forced upon. It's not meant to be. This is this is by volition of your free will. That's how it should be. He wanted us to have this free will. If he didn't want this free will, he would have not given us that free will and everybody would have just followed him and obeyed him and everything would be hunky dory. But no, he wanted his greatest creation to have and make a choice. That's where humanity finds its worth. That's why we're still here on this planet, in this universe, still existing. Otherwise, in a snap, all this could just vanish into a dust of extinction. All of it could be gone, absolutely gone, finished, done. It only takes one asteroid. It takes one asteroid. Wipe out everything. It doesn't take much. It won't. But because of the mercy and because of the free will that was given to us, it has given us the opportunity to prove ourselves. It has given us the opportunity to present ourselves. And that's why his love is here. That's why that source of love exists. We're wretched, man. All like most of us we're wretched. We're nothing. So that's a lot. That's a lot. No, I mean, of course, like, and a lot of times, oh, look at that. We got Swifty right here. We got Swifty, guys. We got the genius, the naturalist. I'm glad you're able to join, man. That had first of all, that comment had nothing to do with what we're even talking about, so you're already off on a bad start. And if you truly have the brains, you would not say anything. If you truly had the brains, you would not say anything. But obviously, you still joined, so that's already a mistake. Said we were here to prove ourselves. How can you prove yourself to something? How can you prove yourself to something that knows the future? See, and this is the fallacy. You constantly think that this God complex is a has human attributes or human capabilities or limited by human capabilities. You're not even on the same page, man. You're not even on the same page. You're seeing this entity of a supreme being or the supreme energy power. I don't even care what you call it. You can call it an alien, whatever, a tree. You can call God a tree. I don't care what you call him. But it's nothing. You're considering this God complex to be part of creation itself. You think he's boxed into a limited understanding. Whether you're an atheist, naturalist, I don't care what you are, pig worshiper, doesn't matter. The idea of God should be transcendent. The attributes of God are all knowing, supreme, omnipotence, omnipresence, almighty. I mean, I can go on and on. Thousands of different titles you can call them, different attributes, right? But the way you structure like the way you even structure your questions and your statements is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. What I would suggest, Swift, is going back and reading MJ's comment. Go back and read MJ's comment. Because obviously, since you joined, you didn't even read that guy's comment whatsoever. Yes, that's what I'm asking about. All knowing. Does he know the future? And if so, how can you prove yourself? He already knows the outcome. So what's there to prove? Well, isn't that what free will is? Free will exists, correct? That's a fact. That's a truth. I did. It was presupposition nonsense. And I did. And I responded to it. No, you didn't respond to shit. You did not. And for you to even say it was presupposition nonsense shows that you didn't even read the damn thing. You didn't even read it. What you are doing is manipulating science in the sense to be subjective to your own opinions and your own feelings. You really don't have any rational basis. You don't have any rational proof. If I were to tell you, show me America, if I was in, let's say, if I was in London, me and you were in London right now, and I asked you, show me America. I want to know the culture. I want to know the people. I want to know how it feels. I want to know how the society functions and everything. But I want it in London. Prove to me America in London. Prove to me America in London. T6F, welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Yeah, see, so you're not even seeking anything. All you're doing is just spewing nonsense just to waste people's time. That's pretty much what you're doing, right? Science is about understanding laws of nature. It is about discovering laws and how things are calculated and how things exist. Science is very factual. It is the discovery of facts. It is the discovery of nature. It is the discovery of laws. Philosophy is the what do you call it? It's the complete opposite of it. It's the complete opposite. Sure, it's an empirical tool. And plus, philosophy is a fruit of religion. Philosophy is a fruit of religion. All the great philosophers that you know, Aristotle to Plato to Homer Simpson to all these philosophers, you know what they did? They went and sat at the feet of the sages during Judaism, the golden age of Judaism. Go ahead, read the history on it. Read the history. So your very own philosophical basis is based on the nature of religion, and yet you still deny it. Oh my God, bro. Rationality is found in science. Rationality is holy hell. My God. And then for you to believe that rationality and free will and this and that is a byproduct of just evolution, like it was just a byproduct of evolution. What are you talking about, man? How complex? And if it's all randomized, if it's so randomized, how is it that these things are so well structured? So well structured. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Find me a mistake in the human body. Find me one mistake in the complexity of the mind. See, and then you use the words transcendental. It's transcendent. It's this and that. But yeah, you want to be like logical and this and that, bro. You are so confused. You are absolutely confused. You don't even know the roots of philosophy. You don't even know where philosophy even comes from. Yeah, yeah. The proof of logic and reason in itself is the proof of an organized complexity. If ants have a system, right? I'm going to take it to the most basis of the base. If ants have a system, very complex, by the way, very complex. They have a structure in their society, in their system. They have prioritized many and thousands of different things. They have teamwork, communication. There's coordination that we have no understanding of. That level of structure and complexity in an ant is the proof in itself that nothing is randomized. Nothing is just, oh, it's evolution, it just happened. It just happened. Oh, boop, you know, it just happened. Everything has a cause and effect, man. Everything has a cause and effect, right? I plant a seed into the ground. Let's say I grab an apple seed, I plant it into the ground. I wait a couple months, boom, something's going to spring out. There is cause and effect to these things. What caused that apple tree to grow? The cause was me putting it into the ground. What's the effect of that? Well, the tree's going to grow, especially if I nurture it. It's going to grow. There is structure to everything in life. Nothing is randomized. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Everything has a structure to it. It's like an architect. A house is not just built from, a house is not built from the roof down. No, there's structure to it. There's planning. There's certain things and certain levels that has to go up from. Has to start from, leveling the ground to flattening it to uh foundation to walls to, and it keeps going up and up and up. And then you're able to get to the roof and everything like that. But for to even have the foundation, to even have the idea of putting a house there, an existence of a house, there has to be one who is the architect, right? A house is architect. That's architect. There's an architecture behind it. It's not just the blueprints didn't just pop out and that's it. Like, oh, nice. We just got some information. We just got a blueprint for this house. No, there's an architecture behind that house. There's an architecture behind this fan. There's an architecture behind all my firearms. There was a design that was implemented by somebody. What do you think the universe was then? Yes, these are all things created by humans, for sure. But it doesn't mean that the same principles are different. Like, it doesn't mean the principles are different. That doesn't mean anything. Okay. That that is one attribute right there. That is one perfect attribute. Universe can't be caused, so would have needed to always have existed. Exactly. Yeah, precise. That is exactly correct. You could not have said that better. Yeah. The universe is eternal. It is infinite in measure. It has always been and will continue to exist. It has no beginning, no end. Okay. And that's what my faith teaches. It teaches that the universe has no beginning and no end, and it has always been. Right. So you're correct on that fact. You are absolutely correct on that, which proves even more that the existence of God is eternal. It's always been. It's always been. Always been. There is no beginning to God. There is no end to God. There is no present to God. You cannot put time on God. Time doesn't exist when we talk about that level of complexity or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to stick with complexity. It just proves the attributes even more, right? The universe is infinite. Yeah. I have no reason to think that, though. I know the universe is eternal, but I have no reason to think a mind can be internal. Can't be eternal or can be eternal? Mind can be eternal. I have no reason to think that, though. I know the universe is eternal, but I have no reason to think a mind can be eternal. Amazon, turn on office lights. I just want to be able to understand what you're trying to say here. Because I know a lot of times, like the YouTube comment section, it can screw up what you type up and grammar errors, things like that happen. So I just want to make sure that you meant can't or can, aka God, an eternal mind. I have no reason to think that's possible. But you're able to grasp the idea that the universe is eternal. If you can grasp your mind on that, you have no reason not to grasp that idea that God is eternal or that there's a eternal mind. right? It's all principles. I mean, it's all principles. So it's good. It's good that you're thinking about these things. It's good that you've, tried to ponder on these things a little bit deeper. And a lot of times, falling deep into that's why I kind of thank philosophy in the sense that you've been studying it because you didn't get dragged into the scientism of materialism. Like it's not even science at that point. It just becomes straight materialism, hijacking science for subjective opinions, to bend science to the subjective opinions. So in that sense, philosophy has kind of made you understand reality a little bit better in that sense. It helps you keep grounded in that sense. Philosophy is good to study. I'm not saying philosophy is garbage. We need to study philosophy, you know? It's good to study under these people. It helps us understand the world around us and it helps us get a better understanding of ourselves, you know? If he's outside of time, then he can't cause anything. And you see, and these are the limitations right here, right? These are the limitations we're talking about. You're using, and it's all right. You're using the mind. You're still interpreting God as something that is in the realm of our own existence. That he's in our own existence, right? In this reality, in the physical reality or physical phenomena. And he's not. Granted, that comment right there is actually very rational. That's actually pretty rational. If he's outside of time, then he can't cause anything, right? But the thing is this: yes, he is outside of time, but he can cause everything. No, he can cause a lot of things. He causes everything. It's like it's a claim, but being outside the universe is nonsense to me. Well, it's like a painter in a painting. You're never gonna find the painter in the painting, there's no way. Even if the painter, like, did a self-portrait of himself, that's still not gonna be the true painter that you're looking at. So you can go and explore to the ends of the universe, and you know it's infinite. You can go explore to the infinite universe and try to find God, you'll never find him. I promise you that, man. You'll never find him. Never. The way you're searching about it, you'll never find him. If you're being genuine about searching for it, if you're truly wanting to understand the reality of it and the truth of it. If you're just like BSing, then it's just pointless argument. It becomes pointless argument. It just becomes a waste of time, not only for me, but for you as well. I wouldn't go with that. Your best bets with my challenge is saying God does not cause, he grounds things. Well, in order to ground things, there's a cause to it. Then belief in him is irrational, and if he exists, then he couldn't ever expect us to believe in him. If that's being irrational, then your belief that the universe is infinite is also irrational. That's absolutely irrational. I mean, science itself still hasn't proved that the universe is absolute infinite. Scientifically, they haven't discovered that yet. So your own faith and your own belief that the universe is even infinite, that's a belief in faith right there. Actually, the ground is the cause of the house for sure. Because if it wasn't for the ground, how could there be a house? Because there's ground, hence a house is built. Yeah, see, and then you say the universe is eternal. You want proofs and this and that and all these things, but you yourself don't really care about science. So it's like, what proofs are you even wanting? What are you trying to get at in that sense? If I can't prove anything scientifically, which is the absolute most factual, most logical sense to go, then what proof are you wanting? Like, you wanna you wanna see this God appear out in the sky in the clouds, you want God, to be standing next to you, you wanna feel him, you wanna what? You wanna talk to him, you wanna play with his hair? What do you want? W what is it like, what proof is it that you want? What is it? No, anyone asking for science in a discussion about God is confused. No, that's absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Asking for science in a discussion about God is the best way. It's the most rational way. Okay. Okay, let's say this. I'm just because obviously I can't just bring God right here. Hey, look, it's God right there. No, no, no. Let me go ahead and give you a good example here. If I were to bring God in a human form, right, into into your own presence, and you're able to see him, you're able to touch him, you're able to hear him talk, you're able to see him explain things, all these things. He can have like his IQ is beyond anybody on this earth. He's extremely smart and this and that. Would you consider him God? Would you accept that he is God? You say he's totally out of sciences and purview, but you don't even care about the science. So why do you even say that? Okay, so let's say okay, yeah, I bring you this God, right? And he does all these fascinating things, whatever. He can perform miracles in front of you if you want that proof, right? And let's say you want to provide an argument. You want an argument from him. So he gives you one. After that argument, after everything is said, would you still believe in him? Would you believe and accept that he is God, even if he was to give you all that? Yeah, see, I care about science when it's about empirical things. Science is not like that, man. That's what Richard Dawkins, that's what all these other morons do. They cherry pick out of science and it's like Legos. They connect it to some other BS that they thought about and some other facade, some stupid interpretation that is not even science related. 100%. Okay, good, good. Yeah, and a lot of these things, and when we go about, if we want to discover truth of God, pure science, I mean, absolutely pure science. I don't care if numbers are thrown into it. I don't care if physics is thrown into it or anything. I don't care how complex it gets. To purely go by science when talking about the existence of a creator is very important. It is very important. And that proof is there. That proof was always going to be there. I could confidently say that. Absolutely. I can bet my life 3,000 times over that his proof is in science, in numbers, in physics, in everything that you touch, see, sense, feel, everything. Because what kind of God is it if he's this supposedly all supreme being and this all encompassing being and this and that, but yet he's not in science? That's not God. That's falsehood. That's lies. That's everything wrong. Yeah, see, the properties of things. Something sometimes called their quiddity. That's what orders the universe. But what orders those properties? Why are those properties there? What properties are you talking about? I want to know what type of properties are you talking about? Let's start off with that. What properties are you talking about? There you go. Okay. Okay, mass, spin, motion, life, charge, etc. Okay, so literally like the fundamentals of life itself, the fundamentals of existence itself, pretty much. Okay, those fundamentals. How did those properties even come to be? How did mass, the properties of mass? Let's isolate it now. The properties of mass, the formula for mass. Where does where does that come from? They emerge from energy. Okay, well then where does this? So you're saying that there's a driving force, pretty much. There's an energy force. If that's the case, then what's behind that energy force? We can keep going down and down and down. What is the cause of that energy force? We know the effect of the energy force. We know the things, but what formulates the mass? Where do those numbers come up for the formula of mass? Because energy has its own formula as well. Energy is not the bottom line of things. There's a formula behind energy as well. Different kinds of energy. Thousands, infinite amount of different energies out there. Yeah, you're right. Energy is part of the universe, so it is eternal. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But what is the cause of energy? Because energy has a formula. I know energy has a formula. And not just one formula, no. Infinite amount of formulas. If we go by your standard. I just want to pull it up. There you go. Because you have different energies, frequencies, different things, right? Mass energy equivalent, E equals mc squared. This is its own formula. You want to look at formulas? This is it. There's more formulas, right? And there's thousands of different types of formulas. Look at how precise these numbers are. If one number is off, do you think mass would even exist? Kinetic energy. We have kinetic energy here. Different formula. This is all energy. And energy is produced by a driving force. So what is that driving force? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just trying to
I'm just trying to show that, yes, like I said, there's infinite amount of different energies, right? You're talking about energy being eternal. Yeah. But the cause of and the formulas of all these different energies, where did these formulas even come from? Because I guarantee you, man did not create mass. Man didn't create. Let me see here. What other examples did you use? Man didn't create spin, torque, velocity, motion, like what you said, life, charge. Man didn't create these things. And with your own interpretation, with your own understanding, you said energy. So energy is the driving force of all that. But what's the driving force of energy? Energy of motion, energy of an equation, mass energy, kinetic energy, gravitational energy. All these are different energies with very specific formulas that if one number is off, you would not have kinetic energy. You would not have gravitational pull. You wouldn't have electrical energy. None of it. One way or another, the deeper we go, and this is why the founder of quantum physics himself even said, the deeper you drink that glass of water, at the bottom of that glass you'll find God. Or you find the energy of all energies. You can call him energy as well. You can call him whatever he wants, right? But there is a driving force and there is a formula maker behind energy. Okay, perfect. Energy behaves as its properties dictate alongside space and time. Okay. Energy behaves as its properties dictate alongside space and time. Nothing can be behind energy. It's eternal. See, again, in the basis, you think eternity is the final absolution when it's really not. It's not the absolute. Science proves otherwise. The eternal, when you say the universe is eternal in itself, is a proof in itself already that there's a eternal one. And if you know and if you believe that everything is not randomized and it's actually in order, then clearly there's one who's giving these orders. Orders, formulas, energies, eternity, all these things, there's a cause to them. There's a driving force. There's an energy force behind them all. There is stuff behind energy, obviously, because I'm looking at formulas right now. How the hell did these formulas even come? How did Einstein's mass energy equivalence get discovered? How did he discover it? You see, I use the word discover because he didn't create mass. He didn't create energy. These are natural laws discovered by man. And if these are natural laws, then there is one who is a lawgiver. Laws don't just get put in place by randomness. You even agree with that. Nothing is random. Why is the order itself necessary then? Why is there even order? The proof in order itself means that there's a ruler in place. Nothing is random. You obviously said that yourself. You confessed to it. Nothing is random. Okay, necessary. But why does it make it necessary? What is it that makes Einstein's mass energy equivalence necessary? Like you're saying, what's necessary is when I build a campfire, it's necessary for the fire to be hot. That's necessity. That's its that's its natural law that it's bound by. Fire can't be cold. See, and then it ends with, it was caused by a necessary thing. But with these necessary things, there's a driving force. Obviously, you say there's an energy behind it. There's an energy behind the universe. It's eternal. Everything's powered by this energy. You say you can keep going around and around and around. My main question was where did these formulas even come from? These energies. There's a driving force behind it all. And if you want to say that there's an energy behind the energy, that's fine. That's fine. Because that is admittance to something supreme, something beyond the universe itself. Yeah, these things have always existed. Again, you're proving my point. God, this eternal energy, whatever you want to call him, or it, whatever it is has always existed. When I say God has always existed, from no beginning, no middle, and no end to him. No, he would not be bound by logic. His attributes and stuff are found and manifested in this reality, in this universe. So we can find his attributes logically in his own creation. See, and again, you question God in the sense of limitations. When we try to see, and you keep reiterating, you keep turning God into this like human figure. He's not a human figure. None of that entity is human. Nothing of them is human, or even of this universe. When I say that he is the father, I can say, he is the father of this universe. The father of this universe. He himself is eternal. So that makes his creation eternal. It's always been and will always forever be eternal. That in itself is an attribute of God. But instead, you just keep going around that circle because of how you're feeling. This is feeling now. This is all feeling. Nothing now what you're saying is based on really anything other than feelings. If you believe contradictions are possible, even for God, your worldview collapses into absurdity. Well, I don't have any contradictions. There are no contradictions for God. Nothing. I don't care what you say. There is no contradictions for God. None whatsoever. Try, test it. Test it 100%, 200%. Test it infinitely. I guarantee you, you will not find one single contradiction. Not one contradiction. Sure, okay, yeah. But that's not what I asked. If he's not bound by logic, can he do illogical things? Well, when we say God is supreme in all things, he can do whatever he wishes. He can do whatever he wishes. But we have the natural law. He has set these things in the physical reality. There is a natural law bound to it. Can God create a rock he couldn't lift and then lift it? See, and then you ask stupid things like this. And then you go back to a bunch of like nonsense crap like this. Can God create a rock he couldn't lift and then lift it? Dude, you don't even need to be worrying about that. What you need to be worrying about is trying to wrap your head around formulas and mass and energies. That's what you need to be focused on. Not whether if God can create a rock and not lift it. Those are 5-year-old arguments. Why are you worried about what I think? What I think is reality. What I think is truth. What I think is scientific and rational. You still have yet to explain to me these formulas. You still have yet to explain the causes of these formulas. You haven't even done that. And you want to talk about, oh, God can create a rock, and if he can't pick it up, then he can't pick it up. And he could pick it up. What? Math is not caused, it's discovered. Yeah, it's discovered by man, but before man discovered it, what I'm saying is the natural law of these formulas. These formulas have always existed. Everything that we see is already, the natural law has already existed. It's already been there. We've already completed that. We've already crossed that line. Not going to answer the question? Then what question? No, I'm not going to answer that question. It's a dumb question. It's a stupid question. First of all, science cannot be picked and nitpicked and cherry picked like what you're doing. Second of all, you're mixing, you've nitpicked science and mixed it up with philosophical ideologies and made up your own BS with it. That's what you did. That's what you did. You try to warp and make things work for your own opinion and your own subjective feelings rather than actual reality and truth. It's not a science question, it's a logic one. Science is logical. Science is logic. God is not bound by any of his laws. He is not bound by natural laws. He is not bound by the universe. He's not bound by any of it. He is the creator of all these things. God is not bound by anything. He's not bound by nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What are you talking? Good talk. But at that point, the principle of explosion means everything is both true and false in your world. No, no, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. What you're doing is binding this eternal energy to some type of limitations of human faculty, and you're just spewing some garbage of philosophical crap that has no real standard when I'm trying to prove formulas and actual scientific evidence and proof. Instead, you want to nitpick and cherry pick science and philosophy as if you can find a balance in it for yourself. It doesn't work like that, man. It doesn't work like that. You want proof of God You want proof of God? I will go to the ends of the earth, to the ends of this universe, using formulas, science, everything based on math. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it takes. You can't just find God and, oh yeah, I want to find him here. He's not there. I'm gonna, you know what? Screw the God complex. I'm just gonna mix a little science with a little philosophy, and there you go. Call it good. Now I'm untouchable. Now my arguments are absolutely perfect. No, dude, your arguments are actually the most shallowest arguments I ever say. You said a couple good things here and there, but most of it now is just bunch of garbage that you really aren't looking for truth. You're not looking for proof. You're not looking for anything. What you're looking for is problems. What you're looking for is excuses to not believe in the reality of a supreme energy or a supreme entity. No, no, nothing's gonna get through this guy. We AT, what I would suggest is go read what MJ under one of my live streams comments were. Read that. He is dumb enough to still come into the stream and still say something like he's gonna win something, like he's gonna make a point about something. He did not do anything. All he did was just pretty much waste my time talking about topics here and there and here and there. All he was doing is just jumping around from one topic to another topic, one topic to another topic. No, I haven't given you any excuse. I've given you nothing but great examples, scientific examples, factual examples, logical examples. And instead, all you give me is just me, just bicker. Me. Oh, yeah, no, it's just eternal. That's it. It's just eternal. Oh my goodness, it's just eternal. Go back to your Go back to your your philosophies and your books and stuff like that. I think that's where you belong. You're way too immature. You are way too immature to even have a real dialogue, a real scientific dialogue. Because obviously, you don't even know who you are. You don't even know where your foundation lies. You're everywhere. You nitpick from here and go to another field. You nitpick from there, and then you bring it over, and then you bundle everything together, and boom, call it good. Good talk. Enjoy your confusion. Good talk, man. Enjoy your arrogance and your ignorance beyond measure. Come back to me when you have an actual scientific argument and rational think. Because obviously you haven't found one yet. Maybe we got to find a. Maybe we got to find the energy source for you, man. Maybe there's a formula to your stupidity. I'm sure there's out there. I can probably find it for you. Guarantee it. Let me see here. Is there a formula? Look at that. Oh my God, there is. We got formulas on stupidity and logic. We got formulas on that stuff, guys. Language of logic and metatheric magic. Look at that. Look at this. Take a look. This is the formula of logic right here. This is what he lacks. Obviously, he doesn't have this whatsoever. Language of logic and metatheoretic magic. There's a formula for logic. I guarantee you there's a formula for illogical, dumb process, dumb freaking thought process. Man's confused beyond measure. Yeah, it's not good for growth. It's not good for growth at all. But I don't care anymore. I really don't care about growth, man. I don't care about that growth anymore. I just care about expressing and sharing truth. That's all I care about now. And if people hate it, then people hate it. If you want to unsubscribe from it, go ahead. I'm subscribed from it. That's still not going to deter me from exposing the stupidity of people. It's still not going to deter me from exposing the irrational thought of some of these morons that come in here. He did say a couple good things, and I thank him for that. There's a couple good things that he said, but the rest of it, he just fell off the track. He really fell off the track. There is no logical thinking behind people like that. There is none. And people like that will never, ever understand reality. Never. So, yeah, bro, I'm gonna continue having these type of conversations regardless, you know? And if people enjoy them, people enjoy them. If not, then sorry, dude. I don't care. I don't care you don't enjoy them. That's not my problem. That just shows me you don't have any depth in your mind. If you don't find interest in this stuff, you really don't have much depth. It's good to study these things. It's interesting to study these things. It's important to study these things because the world is getting filled with people like Swift over here. The world is getting filled with these people who think they can use big words, you know, philosophical talks and magical words and very fluffy conversations and dialogue. Like, it didn't mean anything to me. All I saw was some child who didn't know left to right. That's what he looked like to me. That's what it was. That's what it was. And I'm not saying I'm a smart man who knows all these formulas and this that. Absolutely not. I barely even know good multiplication in that sense. Division. Like, my math skills are awful. They're awful. My science skills are absolutely awful. My formula making, like all these things are awful. That's not my strong point. But I know for a fact that I can prove these formulas, that I know that I can prove the truth of these realities of the natural order. Call it, yeah, a good cigar after absolutely skull raping somebody. Be like, all right, time to enjoy it. No, and it's like, and people, like whether you're religious, whether you're a Christian or anything like that, get into this type of stuff. Start reading, start studying the natural laws, because guys, I promise you, God is in everything. I mean, everything. Don't think you'll never find proof of God in science. He's in science. He is in math. He's in numbers. He's in the air we breathe. I mean, everything of aspect in life. His existence is present. To deny such a thing, you are a donkey, an absolute donkey. A fish has more brains than you at that point. A fish has more brains than you. And they got a 10-second memory span. Maybe, yeah, 10 seconds, 5 seconds to 10 seconds. Like, man, nothing is random. That's good that AT said that. That is absolutely correct, brother. Nothing is random. Everything is is driven by a force. Driven by a force. It is driven by a certain force. And that force, right, is what we can call God. That driving force is God. Now, whether they can use the terms God or, the Lord, or, God has different names. I can call God a tree. I could call him a tree. That's still God. That's still the same entity. I'm just using a different name for him. That's it. So names, things like that, when discussing things with people, should not be caught up in it. You should not be caught up in it. The main purpose and the main goal of these debates and discussions is proving the existence of a creator. That's the main purpose. I'm not focused on names, man. I don't give a damn about names. I care about the proof. I care about the meat and the potatoes of what is factual and what is logical. God is logic. Amen. Everything. Thank you, Collins. Amen. No, it's not like yeah, it's definitely irritation for sure. It's definitely irritating, but it's irritating in the sense like a gnat flying around in my face. That's the level of irritation. You know, like these people are like gnats, absolute gnats. They have no real train of thought. I even tried to explain to him using his own words, and he didn't even acknowledge it. Exactly, because people like that aren't looking for truth. No, people like that are they come to these streams, they just want to spew some nonsense. They're comfortable in their, train of thought and what they believe in. They're so comfortable in it. They just want to spew some BS and, cause some little drama and stuff like that. They're not looking for proofs. They're not looking for logic or anything like meaningful. Whatever they stand for, they're not really looking for it. They don't really care about it. That's why he left. That's why he left. Right at the end. What did he say? Enjoy your confusion. Yeah, but now you're affirmed in contradiction. I'm fairly happy. See, he's all he had left was nothing but uh antagonization. That's it. That's all he had left. Not once did he perform, not once did he give me logical proof, not once did he give me formulas, not once did he show me any scientific evidence of his base, of his where his standpoint is on the non-existence of a creator. He failed to prove to me the natural laws. He failed to prove the simple fact of energy, where energy even comes from. He failed in every aspect. So yeah. And AT, all you guys, feel free to jump in on the conversation. Do what you did. That is very good. That is very good. That's what I want to see. I want to see the interaction. I want to see the truth. I want to see expression. This has to come out. This has to. And I don't care if I lose subscribers. I don't care if I lose interest. I don't care if I lose uh, anything. I really don't care because what I'm trying to profess is truth. What I'm trying to profess is factual reality. Like that's it, bro. Like that's what I'm trying to prove. And if you have a problem with it, then leave. Then leave. I don't want you. I don't want to waste another breath on you, man. Like you don't like it's not my fault. You don't want to adhere to it. You don't want to understand it. Yeah, like he contradicted himself several times at first, saying he didn't care about logic, and then saying everything is bound by logic. Yeah, see, and then you find stuff like that, man. And it's like it just proves to you that the atheistic structure, the mindset of this modern atheism, is flawed beyond measure. It is fallible, meaning it can crumble in on itself. It is imperfect. It has all the room for the mistakes. Like they can say one sentence, and that one sentence is already wrong. Like any word that spews out of their mouth is wrong, absolutely wrong. Majority of the time, I would say 98% of the time, it's like that. It's like that. But to the ones who are grounded foundationally, whether it's religion, whether it's even if you are an atheist, right? Be the atheist that is absolutely purely in science. If you want to be an atheist, go for it, man. Go for it. I'm not going to stop you. Go for it. Be an atheist. But when we start talking about the existence of a higher being or a higher force that is beyond this creation, that is beyond this whole universe, then you bet your ass we're going to be going deep scientifically. You bet your ass we're going to be diving deep into formulas. So you better be good with science. We better be good with formulas and logic and rationality. These are things that need to play at hands. Otherwise, it's useless. Otherwise, that type of atheism is completely just garbage. It's garbage. Because true science will lead to God. True science will lead to a creator, regardless. Isaac Newton, like I said, guys, was a prominent Christian. He was a lover of Christ, an absolute lover of Christ. And he is the father of physics. He is the father of physics. And there's been multiple times where he even said, he's like, in everything that I do and everything that I see in the natural order and the natural laws is from God. He says it's from God. I should listen to that song. Aaron Lewis. I'm gonna type that up so I don't lose it. Because I know after the stream and stuff, I'm just gonna immediately gonna forget about it. Aaron Lewis. I'll listen to it afterwards. Hey, he's gonna be in Scottsdale Talking Stick Resort 2026. That place is awful, by the way. I hate casinos. Guys, stay away from gambling. It's absolutely awful. There's no real reason behind it. Every time I go to like a casino or like anything like this, it's just and, I'm not there to gamble. I don't gamble. I that's one of the things I do not do. I do not gamble. But anytime that I've ever been to like a casino and stuff like that, I see nothing but like depression. I see nothing but depression and I just feel my energy just get sucked out of me. Like it feels like Sodom and Gomorrah just right in a building immediately, let alone Las Vegas. Oh my God, the amount of times I've been to Las Vegas, it's just like the second I get there, I just want to go home. It is the worst place I've ever been to. Worst place I've ever been to. You probably know Aaron Lewis from his original band. So he still tours with his. He is the lead singer for Stained. He did, yeah, he does look familiar. Like his younger pictures, he looks familiar. His older ones, not so much. He doesn't, but his younger ones kind of looks familiar. Yeah, but you see, and this ties up, guys, with the reality of what's going on around us in the world, right? With everything going on in the world, with every like the world is becoming so chaotic. People are trying to find inner peace in religion. People are running back to religion. They're running back to Christianity. It is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. But because they're running back to it, because they know it's truth, they know it's factual, they know it's logical, they know it's a foundation they can hold on to, that they know is immovable, unchangeable. Because everything in this world just changes. Everything just constantly changes. And nobody can ever really get a good grasp of reality anymore. This is what God wants. This is exactly what God wants. I don't gamble a lot. I agree. Most of the time, it's not worth it, and it's just not worth the risk. I know, dude. Like, granted, God forgives me. I did that stuff long time ago. Like, I was 18 and stuff. I just wanted to try it out, see how well it is. It's very dangerous, man. Like that it becomes an addiction, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Never again. Absolutely, never again. Mm-mm. It's not worth it, man. Really isn't. Yeah. And you know what I always imagine too is like imagine whatever you do in life, imagine if like for the Christians and stuff like that, imagine if Jesus was standing right next to you. What would he think? Like think about it. And guess what? That's the reality. He is standing next to you guys. Like, that's the best part. When I say like, imagine that he's standing. No, guys, he's omnipresent. He's standing there next to you guys, 24/7. He's with you guys. He's watching everything you guys are doing. Everything you guys are doing. Everything you're thinking. Everything going on in your heart, your soul. Everything. He can see it. So I always come to myself, especially if I'm trying to keep myself in check. I always think to myself, I'm like, well, what if God was standing right here next to me? What would he approve of what I'm doing, or would he disapprove? If he disapproves of it, why would I do it? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If he approves of it, absolutely. I'm going to continue on. Yeah, in the literal sense. Yeah. I mean, literally, like, hey, what's going on? Simba, welcome in, bro. You missed it, man. You missed it. We had the absolute joy of speaking to a very intelligent atheist, very intelligent. And it's unfortunate. There's like I wish I came across true atheists. People who really truly fell out of God and have completely leaned on science. Like I'd rather deal with those atheists because at least with science base, I can actually prove the existence of the creator because it's logical, it's factual. Science is the discovery. Science is actually the pinnacle of God. Science is the foundation and the discovery of God and the natural laws, because that's what science is. It is the discovery of the natural order and the natural laws of the physical phenomena, right? That's what it is. The natural order, just me saying that, the natural order, if it's an order, if everything has structure to it, right? If everything has structure, especially in nature, then we have the lawgiver. If these are natural laws, then surely we have somebody that is a lawgiver. So proof within itself is found. Absolutely. Just getting crazy manipulated but Godspeed. Absolutely, man. Yeah. Let it flow, bro. Let it flow. The world is gonna be on fire. Let the flames raise even more, man. Everything, what you're seeing is the collapse of an old civilization, of the old ways of doing things. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing because a new era has been ushered. A new guidance has been ushered. It's like the time of during the time of Jesus. This was the decline of the Jews. Like that was the pinnacle point of Judaism absolutely at a decline. Like they had, they even said, Jesus went into the synagogues, because they held businesses. They had freaking shops set up in synagogues, places of worship. And Jesus came in and swept and destroyed it all. Right? It just shows you the level of corruption and the level of decay that has happened with the people, with God's chosen people during that time. After Christ came, then that transfer of God's chosen people became the Christians. Technically, it was still the Jews, but Christians became, you could technically say, the people of God, the chosen people of God, right? When you're doing something, always ask yourself, is this praiseworthy? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Is this praiseworthy? Is this something that God would praise me doing? Or is it something that he would be shameful at? So, yeah, no. And guys, these streams that I'm going to be doing are going to be full of controversy, full of controversy, because the truth is controversy. The truth is hurtful. The truth is painful beyond measure. Painful. And if people deny it, then okay, so be it. But I guarantee you, by the end of these streams, people will only have two choices. One, they either accept the truth as it is and the reality of it, or two, they just run away from it. Those are the only two options. Two options. That's it. And this is how it should be conducted. This is how discussions should be conducted. No more dilly-dallying, no more, "Oh, wishy-washy. Oh, yeah, I could pick a little bit of here and pick a little bit of there, and, oh, yeah, I can make my own stuff," like this one dude did, you know? Picked a little philosophy with a little science, but didn't really believe in the science as much as the philosophy. Like, what the hell, man? You can't do that. Truth doesn't work like that. Christ even said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. None go through the Father but through me," right? This is the way of saying that truth is one. Truth is only one way, one reality, one truth. There's not multiple truths. None of that crap exists. There is no multiple truths. There's only one truth, one reality. And this is what Christ always professed and taught. Yeah, and there's a lot of people, and if people have real genuine questions and stuff like that, I don't care how ridiculous it sounds. Those are very good genuine questions. They got to be genuine, man. They got to be genuine. Like, talk to me, bro. Like, are you looking for the proof of a creator? What are you wanting to get out of this conversation? What are you truly wanting, other than just bull crapping and just wasting people's times talking about, uh, just monster spaghetti on the moon, or, like they're comparing God to like the existence of God to like a spaghetti monster out in space. Like, that stuff is not logical. That stuff is not rational or scientific at all. But yet they want to claim to be scientific and rational. You see the hypocrisy in these people? This is absolute hypocrisy at its truest nature. And the funny thing is that I even found the formula of logic. We're going over formulas of energy and this and that. And at the end, I'm like, man, I wonder if I bet you anything I can probably find this guy's, formula of stupidity. Like, I guarantee you there's a formula for stupidity and a formula for logic. And guess what? There really is. Check this out. Check this out. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find linear logic formulas. Sorry, guys. I'm like this. Material implication, material equivalence, logical disjunction. Look at this. This is what I mean. When we have formulas for everything, and we have formulas for everything, and each one, if one number's off, by the way, this is all under the natural law. These are things discovered by the natural law, right? Look, logical disjunction. We got formulas for that stuff. Material equivalence. We have formulas for that. Material implications, logical conjunctions right there. Atomic formulas, logical connectives, build up formulas recursively. This is what I mean. And they want to tell me that there's nothing else behind these formulas. Well, how the hell do these formulas even formulate? Because obviously man didn't pick these numbers. These were discovered. These numbers and these formulas were discovered. None of these were invented. None of this is invented. Well, don't worry, AT. We're gonna have a lot more discussions, man. We're gonna have a lot more discussions going on. I want to dive deeper And this is not only for atheists as well, but if we have philosophers coming in, I want everybody to be coming in, Buddhists to Hindus to Satan worshipers to freaking dog worshipers to freaking, I don't care who you are, what you believe in. I don't care if you believe in your own penis, all right? I don't give a damn what you believe in. Come into the chat. We will discuss. I want to debate, I want to discuss, and I want to find truth. I don't care. I don't care. Because one way or another, truth is weaved and it will be found because it's reality. And nobody can escape reality, meaning nobody can escape God. That's why people are left with two choices. And there's only going to be two choices. There's never one in the middle. Phone died. Hey, that's why I got my phone plugged in, man. I was at like 20 some percent. I'm like, so this is halfway meant satire, but when people ask, what would Jesus do? Remember walking in without saying a word and starting to flip tables is my response. Exactly. And it was only after he flipped and whipped the tape, like whipped people, then did he explain why he was doing it. But it just shows you that he had this, there's more importance to it, right? It wasn't a time to talk anymore. Like it was so disgraceful and so shameful to see his father's houses covered in nothing but businesses and taxes and they were doing usury and things like that, debt collection and things like this is awful, absolutely awful. Yeah, I wouldn't say a single word either. I would start whipping and throwing tables left and right. That was a justified anger. And then afterwards, he didn't even need to, first of all, he didn't even need to give out a justified answer, to be honest with you. That action itself was very justified. But the fact that he explained why he did what he did, what an absolute compassion. What an absolute mercy. What an absolute wisdom behind it. These are things we have to learn about. And these are things that we can continuously go deeper in because these are lessons. They did these things for purposes, for future generations to learn and understand. So, yeah, guys. Wow. This is what I call a stream. This is what I call a stream. Wonderful stream, guys. Wonderful stream. All right. And I think it's going to be a good way to close off this live stream is I'm going to say a prayer. And I think it's going to be good to end these streams with a good solid prayer. It's important. It's important. Um, there you go. All right. Shoot, I can't even set my phone down somewhere. All right, guys. I'll just set it down here and I'll go ahead and say a prayer. Glorified art thou, O Lord my God. I implore thee, by the onrushing winds of thy grace, and by them who are the day springs of thy purpose, and the dawning places of thine inspiration, to send down upon me and upon all that have sought thy face, that which beseemeth thy generosity and thy bountiful grace, and is worthy of thy bestowals and favors. Poor and desolate I am, O my Lord. Immerse me in the ocean of thy wealth, athirst. Suffer me to drink from the living waters of thy loving kindness. I beseech thee, by thine own self, and by him whom thou hast appointed as the manifestation of thine own being, and thy discriminating word unto all that are in heaven and on earth, to gather together thy servants beneath the shade of the tree of thy gracious providence. Help them then to partake of its fruits, to incline their ears to the rustling of its leaves, and to the sweetness of the voice of the bird that chanteth upon its branches. Thou art verily the help in peril, the inaccessible, the Almighty, the most bountiful. Amen. Shit's getting so crazy over here in Minneapolis. I think it's gonna be worse than. Yeah, dude, it's gonna get bad, man. It's gonna get very bad, especially over there. So, but I hope you guys are safe, man. I hope you're safe. Amen. Have a good night. Good night, AT. Amen, guys. Amen. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen. Absolutely. God bless. All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys in the next live stream. I appreciate all the support. Guys, come into these live streams, man. Let's profess truth. I mean, let's profess truth. It's not out there enough. It's not out there enough. So, okay, guys. Well, have a good, wonderful evening. I love all you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Chad. And yeah, AT, I'm going to listen to that song as well. I'll let you know what I think about it. Have a blessed one, Simba. Thank you, bro, for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, FAO, man. Signing off, guys. That was a good topic. Very good topic. Take care, everybody.